Meghan McCain on The View. This video is making the rounds, as it should. She is having a little bit of a moment about the vaccine distribution, which I'm being highly critical of Joe Biden, but it's been a month and we're actually doing a decent job distributing the vaccines, our country, compared to others, based on population, of course, and resources, and how our government has responded immediately after Donald Trump. So let's play this clip of Meghan McCain and break it down.
Next week, it will be a year since we left studio. And I have been very responsible in many different ways, as so many Americans have been. And the fact that Dr. Fauci is going on CNN and he can't tell me that if I get the vaccine, if I'll be able to have dinner with my family or dinner with, I don't have any grandparents left, but, older people, if I can go to dinner at friends' houses who are older, it's terribly inconsistent messaging, and it continues to be inconsistent messaging. In Israel and Tel Aviv, one of the messages that they have, I saw a sign that said, get a shot, take a shot. Meaning, if I get the vaccine, then I can go out and I can have shots with my friends. Is the science in Israel different than the science here in the United States of America? Because Israel has over half of their country vaccinated already and seem to be doing pretty well. The idea that I can get vaccinated and I won't be able to see friends and nothing in life changes and that we're going to have to wear masks forever, I don't understand the downplaying of getting the vaccine, because right now we should be wanting as many Americans as possible to get a vaccine. The fact that I, Meghan McCain, co-host of The View, I don't know when or how I will be able to get a vaccine, because the rollout for my age range and my health is so nebulous. I have no idea when and how I can get it. I want to get it. If you call me at 3 o'clock in the morning, I will go any place at any time to get it. I want to be responsible and obviously wait my turn, but
so she believes in COVID. She believes in the vaccine. She believes in masks, but she's just angry because with all of her privilege, she can't get access to the vaccine. It's like another level. Speaking of sociopaths, Piper, what are your thoughts?
First of all, interesting that she would compare, or that she would make a favorable comment about the vaccination situation in Israel when Palestinians have been repeatedly left out of the vaccine efforts there, which is terrifying and a huge problem that obviously has not reached her radar at all. I understand where you're coming from, Nomi, talking about the vaccine rollout across the country. It's been a month that we're learning new things about the vaccine. I think her impatience regarding information is something that she clearly doesn't care that we're all going through that same kind of wanting information desperately. And obviously, hopefully everybody is doing their best to abide as carefully as possible with the information that they have. But I think the fact is that her concern that obviously co-hosts of The View should be prioritized for the vaccine leaves out such a story of people who have been excluded from vaccine rollouts because states have been irresponsible. Here in Massachusetts, for example, a lot of advocates had to repeatedly rally around the idea that people with asthma should be included in phase 2 after they were left out. It's a huge issue given that Springfield, Massachusetts is the asthma capital of the country. It's disproportionately people of color who have been left out because of the exclusion of asthma, and especially because a lot of those parts of the state and of Boston are affected by air pollution. It's one of those situations where we're talking about racial justice alongside health justice, and Charlie Baker, the governor of Massachusetts, deliberately chose to exclude that and had to be petition to do the right thing, and luckily it's since been added. I think that's a little bit more important than talking about whether or not co-hosts of The View have gotten the vaccine because they're so high profile. The wrong questions are being asked.
I think it illustrates also what she's exhibiting right now, and the ridiculousness of it is it illustrates the root of this problem. This libertarian me first philosophy that has just completely infused every single aspect of our government, leading to crises in Houston, leading to austerity politics, leading to, it's me. And she is just like an emblem. I think that's what's happening right now. She's becoming the emblem. Simon, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you and with Piper. There's nothing about Meghan McCain's job that makes her an essential worker, or I would argue even like a worker at all, if all she's doing is getting on TV and like whining about how...
Hey, it's hard work. Come on, Simon. I don't have any more water left. My mouth is dry. I got to learn how to plug in the devices and do the hair and makeup.
But what I'm wondering is who is this resonating with and how and why? Exactly. Because I saw Fire Fauci was trending on Twitter today. What, why?
Well, let's roll that part real quick. Can we do that real quick so people have a reference? The second part of the clip.
Get it? I want to get it. If you call me at 3:00 in the morning, I will go any place at any time to get it. I want to be responsible and obviously wait my turn. But this rollout has been a disaster. And I understand, obviously, President Trump can take much of the blame. But now we're in the Biden administration. I, for one, would like something to look forward to and to hope for. Because if getting the vaccine means that just nothing changes and we have to wait another few years till everyone gets it, there's already a lot of people not getting it. We're already having a messaging problem getting people to take this vaccine. So I'm over Dr. Fauci. I think we need to have more people giving more opinions. And I honestly, quite frankly, I think the Biden administration should remove him and put someone else in place that maybe does understand science or can talk to other countries about how we can be more like these places that are doing this successfully.
The guy literally worked on the AIDS crisis and is the biggest pandemic expert for the U.S. government in history. And she's like, we need somebody who understands science. Okay, guys, let me just tell you, I'm sitting here in my apartment with my brand new weave, haircut, whatever the hell that was. I don't know what it was. It was beautiful. But I have to tell you, we need someone who understands science and fire Fauci, AKA Trump rallying cry, because I've lost the Trump people and I need a new base and I need ratings. If the Trump people aren't going to like me, this is my way back in. That's my theory on that. I don't know. Go ahead, Simon. I know you had a point on this before.
No, it's mind-boggling to me. I mean, this comes at the end of this very, very self-centered rant about how she's not able to buy with influence and money the access to this vaccine that is in such high demand and should, of course, be prioritized for people who are at higher risk. So it's just crazy to I don't know who's listening to her talk about all of that and being I relate here.
I feel like in terms of people who relate to this, I feel that it's the people who are trying to force teachers back into school, for example, people who want their kids to be able to go back to in-person learning and don't care at all about the well-being of the teachers. I think if it's all don't listen to Dr. Fauci, if it's all about undermining the CDC's guidelines or going along with the moments when the CDC says, okay, it's okay for people to go back to school, we don't need remote learning anymore, when we know that's not true and not safe for teachers. And in many states like mine, teachers aren't prioritized for the vaccine.
Right.
Meghan McCain's whole self-centered message about I'm so sick of this, let's get back to real life, and I don't care who I throw under the bus in order to get that way. That reminds me of those people who want to send their kids back to school at any cost for teachers and are willing to. And of course, the boards and the politicians who are willing to put teachers in grave danger over this. That's just sort of that's where I see that narcissism reflected in the COVID-19 discussion.
And, as frustrating it is to talk about these things, and it can be hilarious at times, it really is, and I say an emblem, it's an emblem of the philosophy of the Republican Party. It's an emblem of this philosophy of the Democrats and Republicans. Don't forget, she supported Joe Biden because she liked him and he was friends with her dad. She is an emblem of the lack of an actual meritocracy in this society. I mean, I've been in the media world as long as Meghan McCain has. In fact, we used to debate each other. Interesting what our platforms look like, given the same amount of experience in life. We were born in the same state. Oh, but my father was not a senator. I mean, but really, and what happens as a result, I'm all joking aside, is that when you
also don't have the kind of politics that would place you on.
Oh, right. That's why they have. That's also why I got kicked off these shows. I forgot. They literally said it to my face. But I mean, the reality is that, great point, Simon, when you have voices that have a Meghan McCain background filling up the airwaves, because it's not just Meghan McCain, there are plenty of people who are children of well-known, I mean, Chris Cuomo is a perfect example, but there are others that are children of billionaires that we don't even know who get these spots. And they are now creating the discourse in our country around issues and leaving out, of course, the working class voices. You don't have union members on TV. I mean, maybe Sarah Nelson gets on every once in a while to push a point, but you don't have working people. You don't have immigrants. You don't have no one's on the ground right now in Houston talking to the victims who can't get access to their pharmaceuticals, who are the homeless on the streets. They're not talking about these institutional problems, and they're not challenging the local lawmakers and state lawmakers for failing. And that's what happens when you have this ecosystem. So as much as it's funny, it actually is part of something much bigger, and it's just an exhibit 9,584 of how our government and media are in cahoots to leave out working people. So final thoughts, guys, chime in.
I mean, I think you said it perfectly.
Okay, I'll lead it. Piper, go.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think you've said it perfectly. I think that the desire of large media personalities with massive power and influence, like Meghan McCain, for example, to make their own personal woes about COVID-19 projected over the actual needs of working people shows the fact that, there are absolutely not enough media sources that are willing to lift up and discuss things like the struggle for an Amazon union, the fact that obviously if people were seeing coverage about the Amazon union more than they were seeing coverage about how Meghan McCain would sure like to go to a bar with her friends, working people could watch that and learn from it. And I think that, of course, media stations are very, very aware of that. And that's all part of it.
Yep. Simon?
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like it should read as absolutely ridiculous to us that we're having discussions about raising the minimum wage without including voices from actual minimum wage workers. But unfortunately, it's something that has become so normalized in the media that we would be almost like completely shocked to see someone working class giving their thoughts on politics.
Or their companies don't allow it either. I mean, there's been many situations where, you reach out to somebody to speak and they have to go to their advisors or their bosses and they're banned from speaking about anything political. So, which should be a crime in itself. Thanks for watching and listening to The Nomiki Show. But remember to click like and subscribe on YouTube and please share on social media. If you're not already a patron, please join us for as low as $5 a month on patreon.com/The Nomiki Show for early and special content. That investment makes a huge difference. We are not corporate media raking in the dough. It's really you guys that are keeping us going. So please consider being a patron. And to our current patrons, thank you so much. We are incredibly grateful to you. We also now have swag. So check us out on thenomikishow.com to get your mugs, your totes, and your stickers.